Hello and welcome back to the talkSPORT MMA YouTube channel. Before we get started, make sure you're liking, commenting and subscribing. My name is of course Kweku Afari. I'm here with a combat sport savant, Gareth A. Davies. We've been watching the action here at PFL Europe 2. Gareth, let's break down the action for tonight.
I think it was 4, wasn't it?
PFL Europe 2, the second Europe show.
Was it only the second show?
Yeah.
I feel like I've been in a dream and I'm already in 4, but you know where 4 is going to be? In Lyon, France.
Oh, you're going to be there.
You know we're going to be by PFL 8. You see this man here? This man is a rising star in the sport. You called me a savant on combat sports. This guy tonight, the way he carries himself, Ibrahimov, is a very, very talented man. Maybe, I'm going to say this straight off the bat. You've got 3 brothers, 16, 15 and 14. Amir's already scored for England, hasn't he? In England under 16s. They are already on the Man United books. You left the City books. Yeah, but I don't blame you. But MMA is where you're headed, and you are really quite special, and you were amazing tonight. James Fruin's arrived in the background. I'm going to bring him in. Right, go in the middle. Right, go on. Go, brother, go.
So yeah, I'm really happy to be here to represent PFL. I had a great debut today on the 50 seconds. Obviously, I wanted to show more of myself. I managed to get a finish on 50 seconds, and then now I'm here. Yeah.
I can speak for it.
And you're here, but you love it so much, don't you?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the show. Very nice show. I really enjoyed the atmosphere around Newcastle. It's been a pleasure. All the fans. Good atmosphere. I liked it.
You're born to it, though, aren't you?
Yeah, I've been born.
Talk to us about that.
I've been born for it. Obviously, I like pressure. I like handling pressure. I've been doing MMA as a kid. I'm really into fighting. I prefer fighting instead of doing football, obviously. No. Yeah, and then
How good were you at football?
I wasn't really bad, to be honest. I wasn't bad. I was doing well, but I decided to go MMA and smash people's head-ins.
And let me bring James in here. James Fruin is here, obviously, the major promoter. You're CEO in Europe, aren't you? What are you? Well, I know you're the main man.
Yeah, look, I think the most important thing is to say congratulations to
Thank you
Ibra.
so much.
Ibra represents the future. PFL represents the future. We could not be more excited. This guy represents everything we're trying to build. Right, we're trying to build the next generation of MMA athlete and give them a global platform so that kids like this, 20 years old, 7-0, you know, a true athlete with, you know, athletic brothers and sisters.
And we're only getting started.
It's massive, man. And so congrats, brother, because you deserve it, but you're at the start.
And also, like your physicality, the way you carry yourself in there. Like you say, it's like you're going to brush your teeth in the morning. It's so natural for you, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously, because I train hard for it. I feel confident the way I'm going to the fight. I'm ready.
Back in the gym Monday?
Yeah, of course. Monday, 100% Monday.
Let me talk to James about the event.
Of course, I want to
tonight.
get back as soon as possible. I want to fight in Glasgow, so yeah, I'll
Okay,
probably
there
will
we
be
go.
back in Monday.
You've got to get that in there.
100%. I have to be in the gym on Monday.
The event itself, 14 fights. It went so quickly. It's a lot of fights through the evening. We started at 5 p.m. It's close to midnight now. It's Newcastle, so it's crazy out there. From Ibra up, there were several young stars tonight who you call your next gen, and I get that. Ben, incredible performance. Chantel, I mean, levels. She
Lewis
needs to be.
McGlynn.
Sorry?
Lewis McGlynn.
Lewis McGlynn, who showed maturity tonight and was patient, and he broke his man down in the second round and then he took him apart, and it was good for him to have 15 minutes, and he showed the evolution of his game. The end. Savannah Marshall going through, admittedly, the hardest fight she's ever been through. Talk me through your view of the night. That's what I was seeing on the broadcast.
Yeah, look, I think it had everything, and that's by design, right? You have the next generation MMA athlete like Ibra coming through. You have the PFL League season, and then you have the ultimate form of crossover at the top. So it had everything. It was a complete journey. But as I say, I think we're trying to build something new. We're trying to build something different, and it ticks every box. And we couldn't be happier with the outcome, to be honest. And congratulations to Savannah. She's gone where others just don't dare.
I'm going to let Ibra go and bring Kweku back in. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
going
It was
to
good
keep
to
James.
speak to you.
Thank you very much.
Congrats, bro.
We'd like you on the channel more and more. I saw you on Goldstein and Cundy the other day. I thought Goldstein and Bent the other day. We want you on fight night. We want you on fight night.
Congrats.
Brilliant.
Respect.
What an outstanding individual he is. Honestly, the drama around Savannah Marshall and the camaraderie now between Savannah.
Best of friends now, almost.
No, frenemies.
Frenemies. That's the term.
Frenemies.
On a collision course.
No, but there's a different air between them now, rather than that bickering.
I think it's mutual respect.
Absolutely.
Again, these athletes are going to places that very few go.
And Claressa witnessed it tonight.
How many male mixed martial artists, or male world champion, two-weight world champion boxers transition over into MMA? Question.
Yeah.
Not many, if any.
Who?
So, Clarissa and Savannah share that, and there's a strong mutual respect, but it doesn't change the fact they're on a collision course.
But women's combat sports is unique in that way because the talent pool is not as deep at the moment, and they can crash into other sports. I'm not taking anything away from their skill sets, but I genuinely feel, Kweku, that Clarissa changed towards Savannah tonight. I interviewed her yesterday,
She was supportive.
and she was really supportive.
Yeah.
And they were like,
Yeah.
it's going to be very, very exciting when they let their hands go in 4 rounds.
100%, and it's the conclusion of a trilogy if they do meet in the cage. And I know that Clarissa doesn't like to hear it, but she lost to Savannah as an amateur. Obviously, she got that one back in the pros, and now hopefully we can see them in the PFL cage. And you guys have done a great job. Amanda Serrano, Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall. Is that
More to come.
Yeah.
More to come. Like we're doubling down on PFLW, which is our women's division. We're going to do more crossover. We're going to continue to develop the best female athletes in the world and give them a platform. That's what this is about. Savannah bit on an opportunity to meet Clarissa in a cage. As she said, she wouldn't have taken those opportunities for, to anyone else. It was about Clarissa, and it was about transitioning into a new sport.
I've been around in this sport a long time as well as boxing, and I covered Dan Hardy's career in massive detail.
Bring him in.
Covered Dan's career in massive detail. Let's bring Dan in. And Dan, we're just talking about with Kweku, who's just stepped out for a moment, and with James about, we just had Ibra in. He's the very early generation. We're seeing the crossover with the women's boxing tonight, the respect between Savannah and Clarissa now, which is like suddenly melted each other, haven't they?
Yeah.
And it's going to be very exciting because we know what they'll do. They won't throw kicks at each other.
Yeah.
They will just throw down with 4-ounce gloves. I wanted to say, obviously I've been around the sport a long time with you, when you fought George St. Pierre, when we travelled the world with you. The evolution of the sport, when we talked to you, were a pioneer. We are beginning to see the fruits of the evolution. That's what I felt tonight.
100%. Look, some of these fighters we're seeing, the likes of Chanel Dyer and Ibra, they've got so much experience, McGrillen of course, they've got so much experience before they turn professional that they've already got a full skill set. Like I turned professional without knowing whether I was a good mixed martial artist because I'd not had a chance to try it. With the amateurs and the semi-pros, these guys are getting in. I mean, even Paula
You're
Wisniewska.
a caveman in comparison.
I am a
aren't you?
caveman. I'm
No, but you're-
very
you are
much
a
so. I'm a
caveman
throwback.
anyway,
I'm a throwback.
But it was the first generation,
absolutely.
wasn't it?
Like these guys in here now are mixed martial artists from the very beginning of their career.
Next generation mixed martial artists.
And the next generation, that's what we're seeing. That's what we're going to see in Glasgow. The undercard is going to be made up of next generation Scotland fighters. We've got loads, as you can see from this fights tonight. We're going to be signing more and more in the future.
What I was pleased to see tonight, and this is a promotion thing I'm very happy about, an issue that Dean Garnett, obviously who passed through to the next stage with a bye, he got his win, he got his show and win, and that's a progress as well for me. That someone who's got a mortgage and a family, little kids, is not going, oh God, I'm not having a fight because he wants to fight, but he's going home with his whatever it is, 40 grand or whatever it is, he gets paid for tonight, and I applaud you on that as well.
Well, I think the PFL was born around the concept of equality and being a fighter-first organisation. And that's a really, really key message that we need to relay to all the fans and the listeners on talkSPORT. We are trying to innovate, we are trying to do things differently, and it is about the athlete, not about the promoter.
No, come over here.
Oh my God, I'm going to
Come over here.
Here's Dylan Sue.
scares me.
How are you, Nuke?
Why do you shower, do you?
Now listen. They must be paying you enough to get those teeth sorted.
Oh, I'm getting them done in 2 weeks.
You've
Are you
told
really?
me
That'd be a
that 2
shame.
years ago.
No, I have it
You
booked.
told me that
No,
2
I
years
have
ago.
it booked, but I'm thinking about dodging it.
Because you know what, with
Yeah.
those
I
teeth,
don't
you're
want
very
to
handsome
teeth.
man. Do
I
you
know, I'm already good looking without it, like, you know what I mean? So imagine if I had teeth, I'd be too good looking, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting them done in 2 weeks, but I'm thinking about cancelling it. I don't know, they've worn on me. I think I'll miss them once they're gone, like, you know what
You
I mean?
won't.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Maybe I'll be too good looking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want that.
Mark Ewan's the model, I don't want to be, like, you know what I mean?
Listen, you are a very young man, but you've been in it for a long time. You know, you're inspired by that generation in Ireland that came into the sport.
I wasn't. I was there before all them.
Okay, no, all right, you were there before.
I was inspired once I went there with Ashton Dade and Paddy Houlihan. They inspired me to live a life. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But I was in it beforehand. I've been in this since I'm 12. You know what I mean? I'm around this sport now, 16 years?
But that's what I mean, that was the beginning.
I'm an old school vet.
You
know
are.
what I mean? As Chris Field says, I'm the defender of the old school. You know what I mean?
Your style tonight was described by Sean O'Connell at one point as very conservative, but hard to pick apart as a style that... Yeah, you've got a style that's very, very flaming awkward. It's fucking awkward. Took the nuke. It's awkward, isn't it? It's so awkward. Where did that come from?
I used to watch Dominic Cruz and Frankie Edgar when I was a kid, and I always had really impeccable footwork, but one of the issues was I wouldn't carry it into fights, so I'd end up like going into war zones, and I think you can see that in the earlier fights against the likes of Adam Ventre and the likes of Cameron Elts, because if I had fought them like this, I wouldn't have got touched, like, you know. And then he hates me for it. But James Doolan, man,
You've got to credit. You give him credit every time. He's made such a difference to you, right?
He honed everything. He made everything perfect. So I say this a lot. He understands me better than my own family. Like, and it's scary, like, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, why didn't I meet you sooner? Why didn't I come when I was meant to come? And I think everything does just happen at the right time. And God willing and God blessed. You know, I had my mother there on my shoulder today. I could feel her egging me on there, like, you know what I mean? So I'm blessed.
We should mention that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We should mention
we
that.
praise you for your courage, and it's a very emotive fight for you, this, wasn't it, with your mother having gone?
It was very weird because I should have been at home with my nanny and my two sisters, and I feel a little bit guilty of that because my nanny had to. I only went home for 5 days. The minute the funeral was over, I went back to work to James because I owe everything to him, and I felt like if I had anything of not putting work in for him, anything for not putting work in for him or not giving him 100%, I feel like I'm not being justified to him, like, you know what I mean, for everything he's given me. But it was hard, just because I felt like my nanny was bearing all the brunt of everything. And she was up there today. I have a great video of me hugging her and crying on her shoulder, like, and I'm just blessed. I am blessed.
Congratulations. We're going to say goodbye to you now. Have a great. We'll see you at the after party. Send me. Dan, let's just finish off with Kweku. Kweku, you witnessed it from the media seats and broadcasting live into talkSPORT. As I mentioned just now, Dan's been around in the sport a long time. 2 cares, but it's more than 16 years. It's 30 years for you, isn't it? If not longer. You know, and I've been following you. And for the young generation like yourself,
I'm not too young.
well, you look, a lot younger than us, and you look young.
Thank you.
Do you feel like these kind of events are showcasing just how much it's developing?
100%. And I was lucky enough to speak to you, Dan. We're at Tom's gym and asked you about the matchmaking. Obviously, you're head of fight operations at PFL. And I asked you about the Savannah fight. You said, I'm not going to put her in an easy fight. I want her to be challenged. And we saw that. And I think that's the attraction of MMA right now.
Yeah.
There's no gimmies. There's no tomato cans. Every fight is competitive. And I think we saw that. Despite the fact we saw finishes, we saw very competitive fights. And credit to you, put on a great show. And I feel like we can all agree, in this building is electric, especially when Savannah came down. We felt something in the air. And Morella Vargas gave her a good fight for how long it lasted. But I feel like we all can appreciate how much you've put into it and how competitive this sport is right now.
It is incredibly competitive. I mean, it's so difficult to not match prospects against prospects, but everyone's gone in for the same spot. And ultimately at PFL Europe, we've got $100,000 and a European title that we've got to give to one person. And we've got 8 prospects chasing that same thing. So ultimately, these guys are going to get challenged in their young careers. You know, as we've seen the men's and women's fights tonight, all very competitive. But ultimately, someone's got to take the initiative, and the likes of Dylan Tuke, he wasn't successful last year. He's come back this year. He's going to push for a European title.
He's like a strong wind that becomes a rash, is how I would describe him. No, honestly, because that. Listen, Kane Musa I think the crowd wanted K Musa to win. I had him winning 2 rounds to 1 because if in truth, I don't applaud that style, but you have to admire it. That Duke has, it's ultimate survival for me. And then in that moment, he takes it. But what I do think about what's happening right now is Chanel Dyer looks like an absolute world beater.
Yes.
I mean, level. You said it on the broadcast. I was signalling to you levels.
Incredible.
She's almost ready for a world title already. Lewis McGrillen, talent.
Yeah.
Ibra. I mean, like almost a savant.
Ben Willis.
Yes.
Incredible. And you were talking about him before.
The tensile strength of Willis,
Isn't-
the tensile
isn't
strength,
insane.
the body on him,
Yeah.
the confidence, the way he chopped his opponent down like chopping down a tree. Body, head, dropped down, made him drop. It's just so amazing. It was a brilliant night, wasn't it?
It was a great night. And great to have you here as well, guys.
it's
Great to
lovely
have
to
you
have
here.
you.
Thank you very
good
much.
To have you here. You added so much to the broadcast, picking the brains of the coaches in the corners and stuff, and feeding it back to the.
It's
to the
organic
fans.
though when
It's
you've been doing it
fantastic.
long enough. You said I should be a cornerman.
You could corner because you've got so much experience being in and around the sport. You know, great to have you here. It's been a really good night. I'm proud of everybody involved.
Well, we're proud of what you're doing here, Kweku. As they take the arena down around us, that's what the noise is. It's not an earthquake going off, by the way. It's not Savannah and Clarissa fighting like Godzilla and King Kong in the streets, because that ain't going to happen anymore.
They like each other now,
Send us
apparently.
home.
It's been an incredible night. Appreciate you, Dan Hardy, for joining us. Appreciate you, Gareth A. Davies, for being Gareth A. Davies all the time, authentically yourself all the time. We've experienced an incredible night here in Newcastle. The fans were electric. The night was electric. And capped
Where are
off,
we going next?
we're going to, you tell me, I can't remember what you said.
I think we're going to
Lyon.
Glasgow, and then we're going to Lyon,
Oh, we're going
and
to
then we
Lyon.
might even go to Japan at the end of the year.
That's on you.
Yeah.
You heard it from Gareth A. Davies. We're going to Japan. Make sure you're subscribing to talkSPORT MMA channel for more content like this. Make sure you're liking, commenting, subscribing, and hit that bell notification bell too.